Yeah, this is Jules. Wanted to share my project with you guys. This is a canvas, a flat canvas that I made with Anna's photo, one of her senior pictures. Sort of a flat canvas. I get all my canvases from Craft Warehouse, all my mediums and pretty much all that kind of stuff, tools and things from there. I want to show you some of the elements that I used because it's very covered up now, and throughout some of the video tutorial I had my camera at a distance and I had it set on macro, which is for really close-up clear view, so you're seeing this a little bit blurry in some areas, so I really apologize for that. My camera does not have autofocus. Could not afford a camera for a while. I'm about to get me a new one soon, so I know I've gotten a few comments about some videos not being clear. I don't mean it to be like that. It's just times where you can get a good camera, sometimes you just go with what you got. So but I do my best and at least share close-up photos and things that I post on my blog. And if you do want to see some close-up photos and clearer picture, if the video is not good enough, then you can always go to my blog and check out the photos on there. So on this canvas, this is basically a doily and lace canvas with some fabric on it. I use quite a bit of doilies and a couple appliques, some old vintage colors that I find at antique shops, and some handmade flowers, and have Prima. I've got Maya Road, Melissa Francis on here too, and it has this snowed upon look from my texture effect that I mix with my gesso. So and you'll see that in the video. But a couple of my handmade things, I have a really light natural colored rosebud, burlap rosebud that looks like this, and I sell these on my blog. It has a pearl in the center of it, but it's very dimensional, as you can see. I hand make these, and so I do have, and this is just from some scrap pieces that I have in my stash for me to use. So I do sell these on my blog, and there's a link on the post for this project to where you can find these if you're interested. But I have one right there. Let me see if I can show some up close stuff. So here's one of them, and then another one is hidden under this other burlap flower. It's right there. So this is another burlap flower that I ruffled. I did a running stitch around it and ruffled it up, and there's also another layer of crochet trim right there. And I'm not sure where I got this from. This is from my stash, but this is a ruffled crochet trim that I layered on top of it, and a Prima flower. This is the other one that came in the pack. It's a ivory colored or cream colored, beige colored. This is that's the flower that I used. I have a roll of Melissa Francis trim. This is some pom-pom trim that is beige colored, and there's a 20 yards on this, so it's super cute. So I did use that for the very bottom part here. You can see that there. And I have a couple of clothespins, little clothespins that I glued together and I tied together with some twine. So there's that. This is some fabric that I cut in strips, and I did a running stitch down the center and frayed the edges, and then I ruffled it to put on my canvas on this side. And I wanted it because of the pops of the pink that's on there, because of the pink that she's got, that Anna has on her scarf. I Mod Podged the photo here, so I don't know if you can see some of the brush strokes, but there is some of the pink there, and I try to pull some pink with like Patsy's seam binding there and some of the flowers and things. There's some pink on like one of the Prima fabric ribbon or tape. So I don't want to spend too much time just chatting away on it, but I did want to show you some of the stuff that I did use. One of the trims that I used is this chain kind of a link. So this is one that I put down here, the bottom of the canvas. Really cool. It's from an antique shop, and I have a box full of doilies and things. This is the other side of the collar of that I had used. I used the other side, I think, and this one is sitting like right here on that side. I also use this applique. This is a bag of appliques that my mom gave me quite a bit ago, but it's this kind of a creamy colored, and I sat it in my coffee. I did stain some of these with coffee, and heat set it. And this one is up at the top of my canvas. Up there you can see the bow. So that one is that. I also used another piece of this kind of collar, and I think it's over here somewhere, over here. I can't remember exactly. It's kind of covered. And I have this piece of, I have this doily that was a square. I had 4 doilies on it, and I cut one of them off. Actually, I cut one side off. Here's the other one, but it looks just like this, and that's in this corner here. I loved playing with this. This canvas was so much fun. And there's a really large doily, and I don't know what they're called. It starts with a G, I think. But the other half of this is what I ended up putting on this side here. So it was just way too big. It would have just overlapped. And I guess I could have used it, but yeah, I ended up cutting it. And this is the trim that I wanted to show you that I used to frame Anna's picture. And a lot of it's covered here, but you can see that in the corner there. So this one is so pretty. I really love this one. So again, these are from all kinds of antique shops that some local ones, some from in Portland. I also used some Wild Orchid Crafts trim. This one here, this is a Pure trim that I used. I actually coffee stained this one as well. This is stark white, but I coffee stained it and used it at the very bottom. And that's what is giving me these little peaks down here. I used that one. Another trim that's from Wild Orchid Craft that I used up at the top here. This one here, you see little peaks of it poking out. That one is this trim. And they don't have this one anymore. Well, right now it's not available that I saw. They come in with a flush of laces, and then when they sell out, they remove it for a while until they could restock. So at times they have that. So this is, I just cut a piece off and just attached it to the very top part here. So this is really cute. And then I have this lace. It's a crocheted lace. They have quite a bit of the crocheted kinds. It's called cotton. They call it cotton lace trimmings or something. But this one here is one that I used down at the bottom. And you can't really see. I can see a little bit of it here. I don't know how well you could see it, but here's a piece of it peeking out. This frayed part right here is the same, is this trim here. So there's that one. And then I used another kind of a scallop to kind of, it's a gorgeous, gorgeous design. This one here. I used it somewhere over here, down there somewhere. And then I cut a piece to have 3 of these peaks. Actually, it's going this way. And I stained it with my coffee too, and it's attached at the very top here under this cluster. There's 1 peak, 2 peaks, 3 peaks. And then I used no milk bottle cap and some old numeral cards, some wooden buttons, a wooden button cluster here with Maya Road bling. This is some Melissa Francis wings, and you might be able to see some of the sparkle from the Royal Crimson Fire Lindy Stamp Gang sprays. You can see like little splashes. You can see it, and just when the light hits it just right, you can see it really well. And I sprayed it down on the wings. This is a Prima corner. Some of that same tape I just laced over the top of the corner just to have a little pop of pink. And some clock faces that I found in an antique shop. It looks just like one of the Prima ones, but the Prima ones say Prima down here. And this is a little sewing snap piece that I had from a pack. Melissa Francis keyhole and a little Melissa Francis key right up there. So I'm just trying to point out some things that you probably could not see, or that I probably didn't mention in the tutorial. A couple of buttons there, and some stem flowers with some gypsophila little flowers with little beads, and some calla lilies sitting in there. You can see that, and you can see the my little mixture of texture effect with the gesso did really well. So you can see the chunkiness here. Love that. And you can see it here, and I try to show some close-ups of the video in the video, so I'm hoping that this helps a little bit too. It's kind of hard to get everything in photo or in frame, so you see the little chunks there. I really love it. Old hymnal paper, Lord fill my soul with love. And from this same piece I found part of the lyrics is by His grace I'm free, and this when the wings come in play, I just kind of, I mean, she's 18, so she's an adult, you know, she's transitioning into an adult, so really cool. Maya Road stick pin there, and a Maya Road bling button, almost said just button, and this is some Apache seam binding, so it's got this like dirty stained brown pieces throughout, little areas that are, they just look dingy. A lot of cheesecloth in this project too, some here, some behind that, and this is all cheesecloth as well. So I hope that you guys can see a lot of the detail. It's really hard to show sometimes, so I hope you guys like this project. So we'll stop babbling and let you guys see the video. If you have any questions, though, let me know, and I'd be happy to help you if there's something that I forgot to mention, or something that you saw that I didn't talk about. So here is the video. Thanks so much for watching, you guys.